Sparkling day. Welcome to Porchlight Letters podcast number 2209, Steps Towards Wholeness. This is the first episode in our new week. Our week topic is the healing path, and this is episode 1 for the healing path. So tonight we're going to be talking about steps towards wholeness. I love that topic. Healing is really a single leap. It is a series of steps, often shaky, sometimes strong. Wholeness doesn't mean perfect. It means learning how to walk with both your wounds and your wisdom. It teaches us that wholeness is not about erasing what has happened, but about learning to carry it with grace. Remember, we never move on from something. We always move forward with it. So this is about wholeness. This is not about erasing what happened, but learning to carry it with grace. Every step matters, even the smallest ones. Remember those little half steps that we sometimes have to take, those little shuffles. They are proof that you are moving. Healing is not linear. Some days you stride, others you pause. Both count. Wholeness is less about completion and more about integration, letting all the parts of your story find a place. And that is so important, of having your stories find a place, because it's going to come in handy later on when we talk about legacy. So what happens when you take one step at a time instead of demanding a full sprint? You recognize your healing is not on the clock. There is grief knows no bounds. Any trauma you go through, there is no time limit on when you should heal from it. And I go should, because a lot of people think that, oh, you should get over that by now. You know, for Brad, it's been 8 years since Brad passed. You should be over that by now. Yeah, no. That's not going to happen. It will happen in its own time. I will never stop grieving for the loss of Brad. It's just something that is just not going to happen. It will always be there until I take my last breath. That grief will always be there. It will look a little different because of the place that I am at mentally and emotionally. It will change over time, but it will always be there. There will always be that time when something, a smell, a taste, a sound, something I see or feel will take me right back to that moment that he passed. And that's what happened. And I think that's why I'm struggling so much with the grief this time, is because when Zeffy passed, it brought back all of those feelings from when Gus and Brad passed that now felt like multiplied, because now Zeffy was added to that list of grief. And my mother-in-law was in there as well in that time too. So she's been gone a year less than Brad. So she's coming up. We just had her 7th anniversary of her passing. But yeah, it's going to take you right back to that moment. But it still felt different because I am now in a different place in my life and with emotions and feelings. So when it came rushing back, all those memories of Brad passing, it felt different because I am different. I am becoming, I am changing, I am healing. This healing path, it has no time limit. You celebrate progress no matter how quiet it looks. Yeah. You trust that stumbling is still movement, which it is, and even that can teach you something. You can stumble, you can crawl. As long as you keep moving forward, it doesn't matter. As long as it's forward momentum, we keep going. And how we carry forward is we honor the step you take today, no matter how small. Remember, healing is built in moments, not in milestones. Think about that healing is built in moments, not in milestones. Give yourself permission to pause when needed and permission to keep going when ready. There are times over the last few years where I've just felt frozen. I've kind of been that way since Zeffy passed 22 days ago. I still get choked up a little bit when I'm looking at the image on my screen, which includes the recliner, and she's not there with her head resting there looking at me like she used to do. Her bed's gone from down here. Her mats have gone from behind me, where if she wasn't on the chair, she would either be on the mats laying on the mats behind me, or curled up in her bed over here. And sometimes she would have herself turned around so she could watch me from down there as well. That's all gone. And With the pausing, I need to pause right now because every time I go to step outside to go and do something, I don't have Zeffy with me. Yet Zeffy helped me feel safe walking around the neighborhood. The furthest I've got is from my house around the corner to where the mailbox is to go and clear mail. And I've done that once. Other times I've been outside is to put the trash barrels out and to bring them back in. It's still basically still on the property. I had to finish my rental inspection, which is taking a nap and taking a crap ton of photos. And I had to take outside. So I was outside doing that this morning. Sitting outside on the porch, on the chairs on the back porch. That was Zeffy's thing. We'd come home. She'd go and have a drink of water. I would take off my shoes and all the stuff that I was carrying at the time, put it aside and all of that sort of stuff and start getting breakfast ready. And she would go to the back door like, I want out. And I would open the door to let her out and I'd leave it open so she could come back in. And by the time I got back to the kitchen to continue getting my breakfast ready, she's standing there in the doorway looking at me. And when we make eye contact, she then pulls back and looks at the chair and then she looks back at me. She wanted me to go out there with her. I have twice sat out there in the last 22 days. I had to go out there this morning because I had to take pictures of the backyard and of the back porch area for the inspection thing. But apart from having to go out there for a reason, just to go and sit out there, I've done it a couple of times and I haven't lasted 5 minutes. But I'm giving myself to permission to pause on that for a little bit. And every now and again, I give myself, let's go try this. Let's go try that. And yeah, I've been out in the car and stuff, but I haven't had to step outside the house to do that. I step from the house directly into the garage, directly into the car. So I'm not walking around the neighborhood. I'm driving through it. That's how I'm coping at the moment. But I do want to get back out. I do want to get walking again, but it's going to be a healing process. It could be just walking down to the end of the street to the corner and not crossing into the park and turning around and walking back. It's going to be baby steps. So give yourself permission to pause when you need to and give yourself permission to keep going when you're ready. Invite kindness into your journey, both from yourself and from others. And I think part of the thing that has stopped me, or a emotional barrier that is preventing me from going for walks, is the fact of all the people we would meet every morning or every evening when we would go out walking. Even when you adjust your times, something in the cosmos out there turns around and puts those people in your path, even when you change times. So knowing, even if I go out at 6:30 in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning, I may meet people out there that I normally meet at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I was thinking, when was the last time we went for a walk? It was probably 4 weeks ago, because the whole week before she passed, we didn't go for walks because she just didn't have her blood sugar levels weren't staying up in order for her to go for a walk. And I could see signs coming in. And there was the last day that we went out, I actually picked her up and carried her home, part of the way home. Then I allowed her to walk a little bit and then picked her up and carried her the rest of the way. So I know that other people will be very kind and sympathetic. I just don't feel ready to handle the in-person condolences right now. It's why I haven't returned voicemail. I've got people there that I own phone calls to because they've left me voicemails, but I can't pick up the phone and call them right now because I'm just not in an emotional place. I have texted them back and say, hey, thank you very much for your voicemail. I'm sorry, but I'm not able to talk right now. And it's not able to talk because I'm busy. It's not able to talk because mentally I'm not there yet. It'll come. So it's just giving myself kindness to allow not forcing myself into a situation that I don't want to be in. Let's see. In the legacy, the steps you take towards wholeness ripple outward. Remember we were talking about the ripple effect. That was yesterday, wasn't it? Was it yesterday we were talking about ripples? The step you take towards wholeness ripple outward. Those watching you, whether family, friends, or strangers, learn that healing is possible, imperfect, and ongoing. Your walk becomes part of the path for someone else. And you may never meet that person. You may never know that you are being watched by others that you may or may not know. And your walk has become part of the path for them. You may never know that. Isn't that awesome? I think that's awesome. And occasionally I get a text message or I get a Facebook message that's saying, hey, I really enjoyed your show on blah, 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 blah. It really helped me do da, 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 da. Once in a while, I will get a message like that. But I know that there are people out there who are watching, observing, learning from me. And if I make somebody's path just a little easier, this whole thing of doing a live every day for 2,209 days is completely worth it. And to keep going as well, because somebody out there needs to hear parts of my story that will help them through whatever struggle they are going through right now. And to me, that is a huge calling and a huge blessing to be able to do that. Even if I may never know the person or meet them or anything or hear from them, that's okay. Because I know that they're getting taken care of. So our reflection questions for you. Journals 1 through 12 are out. So if you want to click on a specific theme and you have a journal specific for that theme, the links are in the description below. We still have the, where is it? There it is. We still have the regular journal available there as well. It's the very first link at the top. And then you go into the different volumes. We're still waiting for 13, 14, and 15 to be uploaded by Amazon, to be approved and uploaded. That should be tomorrow or Wednesday, I am thinking. And I still have to upload 16 for them to approve it and everything else. But we're getting there. We're getting there. We're almost, yes. And this is, of course, the beginning of week 17. And I just realized I haven't written it in my plan on what week 17 is. But it's in my Porch Light Reflections. I have a Porch Light Letters journal here for the podcasts. So all my notes for the podcasts are in here. Like what episodes we're doing, what themes we're doing. So we have the next 4 weeks of themes and topics figured out for you guys. So it's going to be fun. So our reflection questions for you. What does wholeness look like for me in this season of life? Number 2, what is one step I can take today towards healing or integration? Oh, that's a good word, integration. How do I usually respond when my journey feels slower than I'd like? Yeah, I've had several of those days recently. I thought I was close to the end of August and realized I had a whole nother week in there. And I was like, oh, awesome. When you are so out of it a little bit, when you're so out of it with grief and stuff, time takes on a whole different meaning. And like, I kept thinking that this week was like the last week of August. And then I looked at the calendar and went, oh no, I've got a whole nother week. I'm so like, yes, awesome, great. That's awesome. And number 4, who can I invite to walk beside me as I continue on this path? And in closing tonight, wholeness is not a destination. It is a rhythm, a practice, a choice you return to again and again. Every step you take is enough. And with that, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here